Happy Saturday and welcome to Duke Builds Gunpla. Today we're going to resume our work on the new Gundam, or RX-93. So last time I did a lot of panel lining and we got the fin funnels complete. This backpack unit, it was really satisfying to build. Overly repetitive, but also really fun to build, and I think the panel lining turned out really crispy. It is kind of flimsy. I feel like it's going to fall apart a lot, so I'm going to see whether if I want to use some putty to keep this together, or if I'm just going to use the nuclear option and just cement it all together and it never moves again. But overall, the fin funnel alone was really fun to build, so I'm excited to build the rest of this mobile suit. So it's looking pretty good so far. I got excited because I was holding this up to the box and realized it's almost 1-to-1 scale. I think the mobile suit itself is actually going to be way smaller than the box, but I thought it was fun. We also have the weapons assembled as well. So we have our beam rifle, classic bazooka. We got the hilt for the beam saver and our shield. I've yet to add any decals to them, but I'm waiting. But I'm excited to dive into the actual mobile suit. So let's get cozy, build together, and have some fun. Yeah, before I start building, I always try and think what I want to accomplish each setting and kind of stick to that as kind of my milestones of knowing where I've made it. So today my goal is, we're getting started on the actual mobile suit unit itself. So what I'd really like to accomplish is we get both the legs units created, and then if we get some good energy and steam, we'll do the skirt as well. I can use that as a nice little overtime when I build. Or if we're feeling really crazy, we'll do the whole thing and just stay up all night. Alrighty, so we're ready to start building the leg units. My new way of building I like to do is I like to start from the feet and work my way up. So I kind of finish with the head unit at the end as a kind of little treat and reward as the finish. I was inspired by the YouTuber Bumgarner Restorations, where when he's restoring paintings, he always saves the face for last because it really just kind of unlocks all the emotions and details. And so, in my cheesy way, I do the same thing with my giant robots. A lot of the manuals will have you work from the top to the bottom. Luckily, this one does stop from the bottom to the top, but either way, I usually do flip through the manual a lot and build kind of how I want to build it. So, but should be fun. Looking forward to this one. I really like the color separation of this model, especially the yellow. Normally yellow is kind of like a nauseating color to me, but this yellow has just like a little bit of red in it, and it really kind of tones it down. So I think it has a really cool color palette. So I'm excited to see the rest of the mobile suit as we assemble it. I've never been like a huge fan of the new Gundam design, probably just because I never really got into, that design. But as I'm building this one, I'm definitely becoming quite the fan of the new Gundam mobile suit. And this is a real grade, which is a 1 to 144 scale. And they actually just announced a perfect grade new Gundam coming out next year, which is a 1 to 60 scale, with immensely more details than this one. It looks super exciting. The only problem is this kit I got on sale, so it was about $35. The perfect grade new Gundam coming out next year is $650. So I either need to save up or hope I get a good tax return. Yeah, when it comes to deciding what kits I want to build or purchase, it really is all just vibes. I'm like, is this is this kit pretty, or is it, does it look, have good aesthetics? Will it look pleasing on my shelf? Or the most important one is it, for my favorite shows? So there's, nostalgic factor sometimes. Anything from the Gundam Wing series from the 90s, which I grew up watching, like I'll instantly grab them. Or if it's from a series I haven't watched, it's going to be purely on, is this a good looking Gundam? But as I've been watching the shows more and more, I definitely am choosing my purchases based off my favorite characters. But, you know, sometimes they just look good and you're like, yeah, I'm going to get it. So another thing I'm trying to do better at is applying my decals as I go. I used to wait until the end of building a kit, and then it's kind of like non-stop stickering for like a couple hours. So anytime I finish a section, I want to go through and do the decal. So it's like we finished the right leg, we'll decal the right leg. We finished the left leg, and so on. So I'm gonna get my handy dandy super high-tech tools for applying stickers, a Q-tip and a toothpick. So one thing I really like about these real grade sets is they pack in as much detail as possible. And so, you know, like our sticker sheet here is almost 70 to 80 stickers that we'll be applying to it in total. And so what we're doing right now is we're going to apply some of these foil stickers to the ball joint just to give it a little bit more of a realistic look without having to do crazy customizations. So we're going to put these tiny little reflective circles on them. Used to be really bad about applying stickers, but like anything, the more you do something, the better you get at it. This is probably really hard to see, so let's zoom in a little bit. And we can see just one nice little reflective sticker kind of goes a long way in the detail. And my workbench is definitely my happy place now. The first like 6 months of building models, I was just doing it on the floor at my coffee table, and it was fun, but I didn't realize how more rough it is to craft when you're not in a space designed to do it. So even just having a desk and a chair was a game changer. Occasionally I'll still craft on the coffee table or at the kitchen table, but having a dedicated workspace is nice, and being able to leave a project on the table and walk away and know that it's not going to take up other people's space or other things is definitely such a really nice thing to do. I'm quite the clean freak though, so I clean up every time anyways, but you know. Yeah, I built a diorama about 2 months ago, and it was really fun. It was the first time I ever do anything like that creatively before, and I made so many mistakes, but it was also really fun to cover up those mistakes and make them more like characteristics. And now when I look at the diorama I did, I really appreciate it and really love it. Um, I have enough materials to make several more dioramas with everything I purchased. So I do plan on making a lot more because I think a diorama is a fun way to unlock a kit and have a place to display it. So um, yeah, I do plan to do more. It's just they are very time consuming, and they're gonna ask a whole weekend plus of you. So I just haven't really carved out the time to do it. I also need the inspiration of what I want to do next, but I'd really be open to doing one this stream, probably in stages, because currently it's it's a very messy process, especially with the plaster. But I think when we get to the initial planning and painting and stuff, it'd be really fun to do on a stream. I actually was going to build miniatures today instead of models because I have a whole post office I've been wanting to build, but I realized I haven't streamed all week, so I figured I need to get a Gundam stream in first. So maybe next stream we'll build some miniatures. Oh, you totally should. That's kind of the goal of this channel, is just to create a peaceful collaboration space with no gatekeeping, and it's definitely open to people of all skill levels. I mean, I'm definitely would consider myself still a very entry grade builder, so just want to make sure to have a safe space for people to talk about crafts and hobbies and ask those basic questions that I wish I could ask whenever I first started getting into it. their first foot is assembled. I always like their little shoes. And again, great color separation between the blue, the white, the black, and the yellow. So it's gonna be quite a fun and colorful guy. With this kit, I'll probably just leave it in the out of the box experience, just because it's such a detailed kit and it's super beautiful. And since it's a decal heavy, it kind of covers up a lot of the blemishes. The only thing I did do is the panel lining. So all of the black you see on this model, I added with ink. So there's not normally all these black lines or things I added and then removed over paint. So that's probably the most customization I'll do. It really just kind of brings out the detail, the etching from the molds. But as far as that's probably about the most as far as customization I'll do versus the out-of-the-box experience. And also these kits are really detailed. Like this is part of the leg we're building. And you can see here where the molding has like a lot of details, like where you can see like maybe like the wiring or the hydraulics to the metal frame. And I think it's really fun. And these pieces, they actually get covered up by armor, so there's really no need to have this, but I appreciate that they add those little tiny details, kind of like an engine under the hood. Like you're never gonna see it, but you know it's there, so it's a nice little Easter egg. With that said, though, I'm really looking forward to doing a couple more custom paint kits soon. So I just got a full mechanics Ariel kit. Ariel is one of my favorite mobile suits. I've already built like 3 of her. But this one I'm going to paint all of her accents purple. So her primary kind of color palette is blue, yellow, and white. And anywhere that's yellow or blue, I'm going to do kind of like a nice purple color. So it'll be purple, white, and then I'll have accents of black. So I'll be doing that one soon. And then for June, I was going to do a Pride Month with Gundam Noble, but I need to go to my hobby shop and get more paint colors. So lots of fun builds along the way. And this is one thing I really enjoy about modeling is the engineering, because we're creating a leg. So here's the ball joint for the hip, and this would be the thigh, and here's the start of the knee. And we have our hydraulics right here for how it would work. And once I put the other side of the thigh piece on, we'll have articulation. So now I'm able to bend the knee. So something about it just so pleasing, and the fact that they were able to, engineer this as a flat injection mold is just always makes me geek out. here's another really great detail I love about these, and which give it so much articulation, is we actually have a working piston in the knee. It's kind of hard since I didn't fully close it because I want to be able to show the full kind of mechanics of it behind the scenes. But we can see here how the piston actually works. And it's just such a nice little touch that adds a lot of structural integrity, so you can pose your model without it falling apart. And again, it gives that sense of realism, like this is an actual scale model of something that's real. And then now here you can hardly see the piston in action, but again, it's what's under the hood and what's not visible is what makes these so special. And again, we'll just take a moment to pause and appreciate the really nice molding and detail in the leg that'll forever be covered up by armor. So now the inner frame of her first leg is now complete. It should very much resemble a leg now. As we see, we have full articulation of the knee bend. Again, we have all this crazy detail that looks like, there's actual engineering and, someone went through and they welded this together and they added the hydraulics and the wiring, and it adds to that believability of like you're building a miniature of something that's real versus just a giant robot that was drawn for the screen. So the inner frame is complete. So now we're going to put some armor on this leg and make it look good. Yeah, it always blows me away, like how you're taking all these little tiny pieces to make something so unique and creative. One thing I really appreciate too is, well, I know color theory pretty well. It's definitely been unlocking more of my knowledge of like selective color and use, where you have like 30 pieces to make this leg, and you only need 3 pieces of color to really add detail for it to really pop. So we got another sticker break. So we're going to be adding some more foil to kind of give it more of a metal effect. So looks like we'll be kind of adding it to this piece here. So we'll be adding the foil to here and here just to give it a little bit more of like a metallic effect. This is actually like stupid pleasing. Look at that reflection. Alrighty, so now let's put some armor on him. Yeah, it's kind of a model by model basis. Each kit kind of has its own unique things that make it really fun. Like some have really cool like head units or accessories. I really appreciate like their backpacks and wing units because that's usually where the most creativity or individuality of the kits come from. My least favorite part is building the waist units, because they all have like flappy skirt pieces that are usually really flimsy, and that's usually how I judge a kit, is how solid and strong is the waist unit, because usually I have to get the glue and cement out to keep them in place. But yeah, I feel like every kit I've built, there's always been like one part where I'm like, oh, I wish they would have done that differently. So currently with this kit, I think it's this backpack, because it's like really flimsy, and the pieces pop off pretty fast. But again, I think once I get it displayed, it's not going to be rage-inducing. But again, there's always one part of every kit that I'm like, they could have done better. So these armor pieces I had panel lined when they were still in the runner, so you can see kind of the black lining. Sometimes removing the overpaint on the runner can be hard, so I don't know if it'll show up in the camera, but there's a little bit of black smudges I need to remove. And then here, almost all of the paint got removed So I'm going to do a little bit of paint removal and touch-ups before we put this armor on. Gonna go take a quick break and then we'll be right back.